we brought up the French Revolution a couple of times, and so I'm going to go back to that again. The irony, because you've brought up utopia now a few times, and we spent a lot of time last season talking about the dream of the Enlightenment, which is utopia, and how many events through history have demonstrated that's unfeasible. So we've covered that, but I want to go back to that because you also mentioned earlier the gospel at Pentecost was the undoing of Babel, right? It was unifying people who had been dispersed. And it starts with the Jewish diaspora there at Pentecost, and then they're brought back into faithfulness to Torah and to their Messiah. And then it goes out to the people of the nations. And the dream of the Enlightenment is this sort of unity of all people through reason. And the irony is, and the reason why it keeps failing, and we laugh, but we bring up a lot all the different ways in which history has proven it's going to keep failing. And we've even talked about speculative fiction where people have written about, well, this is what it would look like if it actually worked, and there aren't any people left. What you get at the far end of that are monsters and cattle, not humans that are united. And so we've got all of this, and so the real irony with the West trying to have Christianity and the Enlightenment at the same time is that they're antithetical. That the real way to achieve what the Enlightenment thinks its dream is of unity of people is the gospel, but it has to be it has to be the gospel, not a gospel. There were many Evangelia in the pagan Roman Empire. The Evangelion of Jesus the Christ was one of many, and they were competing in that sense. And so it's an important thing to remember. As you said, then this is why it can be so corrosive if a parish or someone in a parish is trying to bring that utopian idea into the parish. We've talked many times about St. Basil the Great and his vision for the new city. That vision for the new city was not a utopia. It was something else. His vision of the new city was supposed to look a lot more like the end of the book of Revelation, which is not a utopia. It's something else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we end up, if we do that, in contemporary culture, what you end up is the church really being a social justice organization, for example.
With a bad definition of social justice.
Yeah, well, the contemporaries. Yeah, it's sort of a contemporary.
There's nothing wrong with actual social justice. It's just what most people think that isn't correct.